Collins Cobras, this is Mrs. Hernandez, and today I'm going to be reviewing one-step inequalities with you. As you probably remember, solving inequalities is the same as solving an equation. We want to make sure we use the inverse operation to undo the equation. In other words, we want to isolate the variable. The inverse of addition is subtraction. The inverse of multiplication is division. So for example, we're going to be solving this equation right here using the inverse operation. So 6x means 6 times x. The inverse of that is going to be dividing by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and we write one variable as just the variable. The other thing that's important about equations and inequalities is that if we make a change to one side, we have to make the same change to the other side. So we want to divide by 6 over here as well. So we get a solution of x equals 6. There's one important rule that applies to inequalities that we want to remember, and that's when multiplying or dividing by a negative number, we need to flip the inequality symbol. So let's look at an example right here. Negative 2x is greater than 20. Negative 2x means negative 2 times x. The inverse is going to be dividing by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, and we write one variable as just the variable. And then we'll make the same change over here. So 20 divided by negative 2 is negative 10, and because the change I made was to divide both sides by a negative number, I'm going to flip the inequality symbol to become less than. So then we want to check to see if our solution is correct by picking a value that is less than negative 10. So for example, we could use negative 11. So I'm going to go back to the original inequality. Negative 2x is greater than 20, and in place of x, I'm going to use the value I picked that's less than negative 10, which I said I was going to use negative 11. Negative 2 times negative 11 is positive 22, and 22 is greater than 20 is a true statement, which makes our solution over here correct. Some other things that are really important to remember about inequalities are the vocabulary words that you're going to see associated with the different inequality symbols. So our first symbol is the less than symbol. Some other words you might see are fewer or below. Those would also mean less than. Our next symbol is our less than or equal to symbol, less than or equal to. You might also see maximum, at most, or no more than. For greater than or equal to, you might see minimum, at least, or no less than. These are just some examples. There are other words also. For greater than, you might see more than or above. And then for equal, you might see the word equal. And then the one that sometimes gets forgotten but that we see frequently is the word is. For example, 2 plus 3 is 5. Is a synonym for equal in math. Alright, so then let's look at an example of an inequality word problem and solve it together. Coach Emmanuel is trying to gain muscle. He starts 2017 weighing 226 pounds. If he plans to lift weights and eat enough, then how many pounds must Coach Emmanuel gain in order to be at least 250 pounds? So first I'm going to start with our inequality symbol, at least. That means that he can be equal to 250 pounds, or he can be greater than that. He wants to weigh 250 pounds or more. Okay, something else that I noticed is that he started out weighing 226 pounds. So that's going to go somewhere over here on the left side of the inequality symbol. So it says if he plans to lift weights and eat enough, then how many pounds must Coach Emmanuel gain in order to be at least 250 pounds? So he's going to be gaining some weight. So here's his starting weight and the weight he's going to gain. We don't know how much weight he's going to gain because that's the missing information. Alright, so now we're ready to solve our inequality using inverse operations. Since this is addition, the inverse is going to be subtraction. 226 minus 226 is 0. That isolates the variable. Then we want to make the same change to the other side. So our solution is x is greater than or equal to 34. So he needs to gain 34 pounds or more than that in order to reach his goal weight. Now you might be thinking about the rule that we talked about up here where we said a negative and a negative means that we need to flip the inequality symbol. But in this case, because the change was actually subtracting 226 from both sides, we are not going to flip the inequality symbol, and that is our final answer.